Hey everyone, how's it going? I am Xeracon and I am back once again with another video. Today we are talking about Kingdom Hearts, and I mean, well, here's a couple things. First off, I kind of was late to playing Kingdom Hearts. It was a game that I originally only got into because I read the manga, and at least it was the first one, the manga for the first game. The later other ones, those I read later, and I probably also started playing some of the games before even that point. But it was definitely way after. It was way after at least the second game came out. So I read the manga for that, and then that got me interested. And eventually, I played Chain of Memories for the Game Boy Advance, and then from there, that's where everything just like I dove into that series. But I've never played one or two until now. Yeah, I believe it or not. Now, because here's the thing, I played all of the all the games that were on Nintendo and stuff, but that was it. Like I didn't have a PS2 or anything like that, so I never was able to play those games. Like I wanted to play Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, but I wasn't able to. And eventually, once I'm done with, well, I'm currently playing 2. I beat 1 last week. No, I think I actually beat it this week. Yeah, I beat it this week. Started 2, and so I'm currently halfway through 2. And this is actually telling you how good these games are, or at least how much fun I'm having. The fact that I'm actually finishing a game at the very least within a month. I mean, it's been a long time since I've just been putting in that much time into a game that I've finished, that I've actually made progress and can actually say I'm going to finish a game. Like that shows you how, at the very least, I'm dedicated. I'm dedicating the stuff to do that. So there's that. Um, but yeah, so after getting all that history out of the way, so after this, I'm gonna see maybe I'll do what was it? Birth by Sleep, and I'll decide if I want to do Rechain of Memories or not. But anyway, that's why I haven't played the Kingdom Hearts games, so I'm playing them now. Um, but going into, well, first off, when I first played one, that it felt very dated to me when I played it, just because of the fact that uh, basic mechanics like block and dodge roll you don't get until later on in the game, especially depending on what you prioritize as far as strength, defense, or magic. So that determines, when you'll get those mechanics in. But once I got all of those, the game felt complete. It felt solid. It felt almost perfect for me. And there are a couple things that I wouldn't even think about having until I played Kingdom Hearts 2 that made me think, yeah, that would have made Kingdom Hearts 1 better. And, I would have preferred that. But overall, as a game stands by itself, and I'm not talking about the story. The story was good. Don't get me wrong. The story was great, but Kingdom Hearts was a nice, good, solid game. I'd almost say, I'd almost give it a 10. I feel like there was a couple things, like I said, if it was for the fact that the basic mechanics were introduced later, that sort of bogged me down and made the game feel a bit tedious. But once I had those abilities, I would say the game is a perfect solid 10 out of 10, but because it came later, I would say it's a 9 out of 10. But Kingdom Hearts 2, on the other hand, that game, it left me felt a bit disappointed in some aspects. Now, don't get me wrong, there are things that I do enjoy. I think that the reaction command is great for certain things. I think it's good to have. I mean, sometimes I guess you could say it's probably fine to use X to select something or something like that. But I think that using the triangle for selecting certain items or speaking to people, conversing, is fine. I think the reaction command is good. However, the thing that I don't like is the fact that reaction commands you use for attacking enemies or for certain enemies and stuff like that. The problem I have with it is if you have an NPC who also reacts to reaction command, and you're trying to say use it on an enemy, and the NPC is right next to you, you will accidentally use a reaction command with the NPC, which result. I mean, while you will most likely, depending on the situation, take out the enemies that you are trying to take out in the first place, you won't all that won't always be the case, and also in the fact that it will use up all of your MP, and you will have to wait for your magic to recharge, and that's going to be a pain in the butt. And that's one of the things that I want to talk. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna put that aside right now because this is the first. Because I'm gonna do this in the order of things that I saw when I played the game that angered me, that irritated me, and so I'm going to talk about the smaller things leading up to the bigger things. So the first thing I noticed was when I was playing the game was the fact that there was no clear way on how to move the camera around. So in Kingdom Hearts 1, you move the camera left and right by using R2 and L2. So in Kingdom Hearts 2, however, you need to hold down L2 and use the right stick to move the camera around. And that's fine. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. It's just I feel that L2 and R2 those worked perfectly. I don't know why that was necessarily needed. Once I found out once I knew how to do that, that was fine. I had no problem with that. Now, however, this is the part that irritated me. And at first, I wasn't even sure how to do this until I think I looked this up or something, or I just probably figured it out by myself. But when you're locking onto an enemy and you want to switch to another enemy, you have to hold down R2 and use the right stick, but you can only move it in the right direction. Because in Kingdom Hearts 2, you have two. I don't know how you would categorize this, but you have the menu on the bottom left screen, but there are two of them. So you have your basic attack, item, magic, and I think drive on the first one. The other one has party, limits, and I can't remember what the other option is, but it balances it out itself. So if you use right stick, left, it changes it to the next menu screen. So you need to do R2 plus right on the right stick in order to move it to a different enemy. The problem with that is you will want to go back to, say, another enemy or to target and stuff like that. You can't do that because you have to keep going right on the right stick. If you go left, you will not change the enemy, but you will instead move the menu to the next menu screen. So that's a pain in the butt because of the fact that I don't really use the other screen. So I don't really use the limit. I don't really change party members. So I really just prefer to keep it on the first menu screen. So I have to keep going right, or I have to unlock I disengage from the enemy and try to find the enemy I was trying to lock onto in the first place. Especially if there are a cluster of enemies moving around, it's horrible to do. It's a pain. I mean, it's doable. I've done it, but it's not easy. It's not efficient, and that's really my problem. Is the fact that it's not as efficient as it was in the first game, and that just it really removes points for me as far as if I was grading it, I would have to deduct points from it just because of those mechanics. And yeah, so other things that aggravate me, the blocking mechanic, I think it's not as precise, or at least it's not as easy to time or figure out where I'm doing, just because of the fact that in the first game, Sora is just putting the Keyblade in front of him, and it's easier to time your blocks and stuff like that to deflect and whatnot. In this game, he's sort of pulling a Ventus. He's just holding it behind him and stuff like that. And I think a couple of times he actually more so uses it as possibly a counterattack or something like that. I guess it depends on the enemy, but it's hard to time. I mean, I really haven't been too successful. I've been able to block certain enemies and block certain attacks and stuff like that, but I don't find it as reliable as the first game, and that's something that I really don't care for. Another thing, and this is something that really got my goat, is the fact that I is that there's no dodge roll. There's no dodge roll in Kingdom Hearts 2. I was just trying to figure out how I got it. Well, not how I got it, because I noticed that with the drive forms that each one gives you a certain one, and I was wondering, hey, when am I going to get the dodge roll? Because, dodge roll is something that I like because it's efficient, it works, and I would rather use that than block. Especially if and there are times when I feel like I definitely need to use dodge roll, because if there are attacks where they're either area of effect, or if it's just a single attack that's just following and homing around you, dodge roll is quicker. I mean, I'm pretty sure once I get glide, or at least super glide, that'll probably be more efficient than dodge roll. But for just starting out right now, dodge roll is my best bet. So when I found out that there's no dodge roll, I'm just wondering, why not? I mean, that's a basic mechanic that should be in this game. And considering the fact that this game is... Oh, this is going to tie into something else, but the fact that the dodge roll is sort of needed, or it's something that you should have, because it's going to make the game a whole lot harder because of other mechanics that they really just... I don't know why they did what they did. But leading into this point, which was going back to the reaction command, Cure. Cure uses up all of your magic, and I have no idea why. It's not like using Curaga or Cura. Well, I mean, all levels of Cure use up all your magic, and I have no idea why, because it doesn't make sense. I mean, if you were using something powerful or something like that, I can understand that. But why does Cure use up all your magic points? And then you have to wait to charge up your magic again. I mean, in Kingdom Hearts 1, if I was damaged, I could just cure. Do I need to do? Eventually, I will cure again if I have to or if I need to. But I don't need to heal myself. I mean, I can heal myself, and I can still heal myself again if I need to. In Kingdom Hearts 2, if you use it, you're going to have to wait a long time, or you're going to need to use up potions or elixirs. And I do not like to use up elixirs. And potions, I mean, I use them if I have to, but I mean, I can still buy more, but I tend not to use them as much as I need to, because I have Cure, and Cure is something that, or at least I had, I was able to rely on, because, I can go in, cure myself, and then just, go about my business. If I have to worry about my magic running out, then that's a problem. And again, tying into the problem with the reaction command. Say if I accidentally use a reaction command with an NPC, I have no magic afterwards. Therefore, if I am in trouble and I need to cure myself, I'm in trouble. And same thing, if Donald, if he cures a party member, then that means that no one else is going to get cured either, until their magic gauge fills up again. Now, I know that I think there's MP haste that recharges the magic gauge faster, but that shouldn't be required in order to just to stay alive. All right, because if, again, like I said, the problem I have is the fact that you can only use it once, and especially, like I said before, with a NPC, that ruins your chances of getting cured for another time unless you use items, and you only have so many items that you can hold on with you, and that's a problem. At least with, say, later games that had the command deck feature that recharge, like in Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, games like those, you can have, sure, cure recharges and stuff like that, but it recharges a whole lot faster than the magic gauge in this game, and you can also have multiple cures set up in your command deck. So, say, and I've never had a problem where I've ran out of cure, or eventually I leveled up to Curaga, but I've never had a problem where I needed to heal myself and then said, oh no, I am running out of healing spells. No, I have one that I've set and I can use. I use that. I can still switch my deck around, cure myself again, and by the time I need to heal myself again, my first spell is already recharged. So I'm fine. I can do whatever I want to do. But in this game, if you heal yourself, you're essentially screwed. And it really ticks me off because it just makes the game that much more difficult. Again, because I can't roll out of danger, that means I'm going to be more vulnerable. I can't time my blocks. I'm going to be more vulnerable. If I accidentally use a reaction command with NPC, I use up all my MP, and I need that to charge up again, which means I can't heal myself. It's a mess. Now, I mean, I'm halfway through Kingdom Hearts 2, so it's not like it's a broken mechanic, but it's just so grating that it's just, I feel like for everything that Kingdom Hearts 2 does right, like, they added a map in Kingdom Hearts 2, and I thought, wow, this is great. I mean, I didn't really think about it. I mean, I definitely think that Deep Jungle could have used it, and maybe Hollow Bastion, but I didn't really think that too many of the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 1 needed a map, but it would have benefited from that. And also Slide Dash. Slide Dash, I think, is great for just being able to home in on an enemy and from a distance and, just like zoom in and then start attacking them. I think Slide Dash is great, and it would have been, Kingdom Hearts 1 could have used it. Am I upset that it didn't have it? No, but I think that for what it is, it did a good job. And I can definitely say that Kingdom Hearts 2 definitely has more content and it's meatier, just because of the fact that I'm put in about as much time in this one as I did in the first game, and I finished it. And I think I'm only about halfway through. So that shows you that there's a lot of content and there's a lot of meat in here, and it's a good game based on that. But the mechanics themselves frustrate me, and I really am disappointed in that because I think that this game does things that are great, but those other mechanics hold it back and just bog down the experience. And from what I've heard, though, Kingdom Hearts 3 has that same cure mechanic where it uses up all your MP. So eventually when, or at least hopefully, if Kingdom Hearts 3 comes to PC, I'm hoping that it does, because I'm not getting a PS4 or Xbox just to play that. But I'm hoping that, but if I do play Kingdom Hearts 3, it's going to be a bit of a problem just because of doing all that stuff. But yeah, so I'm going to go, guys. Thanks for, watching this video and stuff. And let me know what your favorite Kingdom Hearts game is. Until next time, I am iamxeracon signing off. Have a good one. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe and leave a comment below. Also, follow me on Twitter to stay up to date on news and details. I'll see you next time.